15 non-obvious signs someone is wealthy. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hello Aluxers, welcome back. We hope you had an incredible week so far. Before we start, we want to take a moment to congratulate you on crushing your goals and making the choice to watch this video when everybody else is binging Netflix. You are on the right path. With that said, today we're focusing on the subtleties of wealth. When thinking about rich people, you probably have this idea of extreme opulence, fancy clothes, big flashy houses, and brand names, but that's not actually the case. You see, the world of the rich is split into two parts: new money and old money. With new money, you can tell right away someone just got rich. They splurge, they're loud, they're screaming, "Look at me," from every pore. But that's not the full story. Actually, the majority of the rich population is what is considered matured money, either passed down from generation to generation or self-made but through discipline and hard work. The thing is, you might be in the same room with someone that's incredibly wealthy and have no idea how much they're worth. For the future billionaires in the audience, today we're taking a look at the 15 subtle signs someone is super rich. Here's what to look for. Number 1. Teeth, hair, posture, and skin. The biggest giveaway is how healthy they look, starting from a general state of being to specifics. One of the first things rich people fix is their teeth. They make it a priority to have their teeth clean, white, and presentable. This doesn't mean having diamond grills. Instead, they focus on making sure their teeth don't distract from the conversation. There's no bigger turnoff than bad teeth. Men will be properly groomed, and ladies will usually have their hair professionally washed and colored. You're not gonna see the roots showing with these ladies, or God forbid they have the eyebrows black and their hair is blonde. Speaking of eyebrows, it's also one of the big giveaways. If they're groomed to look natural, not the tattooed type or those skinny worm-like lines that they draw on their forehead. Because they can afford it, they fix minor imperfections on their skin. They look healthy and radiant. Also a good thing to mention, they have perfect, simple, subtle fingernails. Not those Christmas tree decorations that some women sport on their fingers. Number 2. They spend money to save time, not time to save money. A big tell comes from the way they spend money in relation to time. It's often that you'll see some people drive 30 minutes to the other side of the city to save $5 on gas or groceries. Taking a helicopter from the airport to the city or a private jet to a certain event can definitely be a pretty obvious sign someone's rich. But this type of thinking transpires into everyday actions. The biggest difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they use their time. Number 3. Clothes and shoes are not brand names, they're bespoke. You're probably thinking rich people are all over the Gucci and Louis Vuitton, but you'd be wrong, they aren't. This is one of the reasons why these two brands are focusing their efforts on younger demographics that are trying to look rich. Out of the big brands, Hermes is probably the only one who maintain their appeal to the true rich. This might come as counterintuitive to some of you, but in the high net worth circles, there's a saying: money talks, wealth whispers. They care about the lifetime value of the purchase, about the quality of the materials used, and they go for timeless designs. Almost everyone who's really rich has a personal tailor who makes adjustments or creates their clothes. In the case of both sexes, but more predominantly women, the quality of the shoe is a big subtle hint as to how much someone's worth. Number 4. They never look at price tags. This might sound obvious, but there's a subtlety to it that comes from the way they think about spending money. When rich people go to a restaurant, they rarely look at the menu at all. They usually ask the waiter what the special is today or what the chef recommends, and they'll order that. They order the food they're craving instead of going somewhere more budget-friendly. Through our interactions with really rich folks, we've learned a rule some of them use when buying anything. If you have to think about whether you can afford it or not, you probably can't afford it. You see, when you're in the supermarket and pick up Tic Tacs or gum at the checkout line, you never take the time to think about if you can afford it or not. You just buy it. And to them, this applies to everything else in life. Be so rich you can look at cars or buildings the same way you look at gum. Number 5. They value privacy over fame. This is another massively counterintuitive approach because most rich people you know of have become rich in the process of becoming famous. But these people make up less than 3% of the rich class. Everybody else is quietly and privately going about their business. They're secluded because attention comes with a lot of drawbacks. You become a target. Your family becomes a target. People want things from you. Here's how we want you to think about it. The more famous you are, the less you own yourself. At some point, you belong to the machine, to the fans, to the system, which ironically is the exact opposite of what money should do for you, which is to buy your freedom. This is why you see incredibly successful people miserable in their real life. Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade are both tragic examples of this. On the other side of the coin, there's also the interest of buying security. The thing about privacy costs is they become apparent only after they're paid. There's an increase in the number of panic rooms popping up with rich folks. Privacy is increasingly seen not as a right, but as a luxury good. Even when traveling, we always use a VPN and virtual credit cards for our purchases. One of the first things you need to do if you're looking to take your privacy more seriously is go to Alux.com/VPN and get yourself a 3-year subscription. We personally use the services of NordVPN, so it's a perfect match when they decided to support our community with an exclusive offer. If you go to Alux.com/VPN, you're getting 70% off plus 1 month for free when you sign up with the promo code ALUX. You're literally getting 3 years worth of internet privacy for less than the price of 1 year because you're an Aluxer. Super easy to use. With 1 click, you're anonymizing your internet activity. It's a no-brainer. Number 6. They're private about their finances. Really wealthy people rarely show off their finances or boast about how much money they have. Making a big deal about being rich is a sign someone is looking for validation, while true rich people already have it. They might even use phrases like, "I don't care about that stuff, the family lawyer handles that." When it comes to rich people and rich families, they usually have a financial advisor on board, which makes sure the family is doing well. They take care of their portfolio and manage their assets for them. Privacy is the biggest luxury of our generation. Number 7. The color and weight of your credit card. The average person will never know this, but hotels, resorts, restaurants, and any type of high-end service establishment will most certainly judge a book by the cover. And in this case, you're the book, and the color and weight of your credit card is the cover. Banks give out cards of different weights and colors according to how profile a client you are. The higher-end ones are usually metal and sport either black, gold, or platinum colors. The establishment will also silently judge you based on what you order, but that's a different video for another time. As a pro tip, the cheapest metal credit cards you can get your hands on are Revolut and Amazon Prime Visa. Mr. Emil Anton, the founder of Alux.com, is using the black metal Revolut when traveling, so you might want to check it out. Number 8. They have social grace. Have you ever seen people that fit perfectly into any social setting? They look like they're floating, they talk to everybody, they ask questions, nod, always polite, and people love being around them. This is because social skills are incredibly important when it comes to climbing and maintaining your position in the social hierarchy. There are some places where you can't go alone, and the rich society knows to stick together. Your network is your net worth. This is very different from the education poor and middle-class individuals get. You rarely see lower-income families focus on making networking a priority because they never really see the value in it. Number 9. They never complain about money. A subtle sign that someone is well off financially is the fact they never really complain about money in public. You'll never hear them talk about bills or unforeseen expenses or how they're going to make rent this month. Once again, it's one of the things you learn growing up in a wealthy family where the image of financial stability maintains their social position. But there's more to it than just saving face. People who complain about money are usually bad with it. You've probably even seen your friends do this. They complain about not having enough money, but never take the opportunities to work a bit more in order to keep themselves afloat. Even the money they do have, they spend it quickly on the most superficial things. Don't be the girl with a $1,000 purse and no cash inside of it, or the guy with a $500 tattoo who has to borrow money for gas. And speaking of bags, the size of the bag is usually in reverse proportion to someone's wealth or importance. Rich people don't need to carry everything with them at all times. Number 10. They value experiences over things. They can always buy more stuff. They have the money, that's why they're interested in something different. They engage with other people, prefer to eat home-cooked meals over fancy restaurants. They love traveling to new places and trying new things. Aluxers, take a moment to think about yourself. What would make you happier right now? Spending 4 days on the other side of the world in a remote village, or a brand new 2020 laptop? Be honest with yourself. It's the laptop, isn't it? And for the majority of the population, it's a fair choice. The 4 days would soon be over, but you'd use that laptop for the next couple of years. This is one of the biggest distinctions between people who are wealthy and everyone else. They can afford to indulge in a passing moment because buying a laptop is a lot easier than figuring out how to take 6 days off with flights. They're also taught to value experiences more than things. All of the signs we listed earlier are the result of education. We made a video called 15 Lessons Rich People Teach Their Children, which you can open up by clicking in the top right corner right now. Number 11. They have proper accessories for the occasion. Accessories are a big sign someone knows what they're doing. It's one of those subtle luxuries that round up a picture. Simple examples are the proper attire for any sporting activity, like the right shorts for tennis, proper gym clothes, proper running shoes, and so on. If you're going to the beach, the towel, the bag, the shorts, the loafers, they're all part of the picture. There are different types of pants, different types of shirts, t-shirts, and more that go for particular settings. Rich people usually fit the setting perfectly at all times. Number 12. They understand financial and legal lingo. They know this because they've had a crash course on everything through personal experiences. They've had to sit down with a lawyer before. They explained what a trust is, what happens with their finances if their parents die. They understand how the family business is run, what the basic rules of finances are, and so on. They basically speak money, a language the general population doesn't. It definitely comes in handy when you're speaking to bankers or when your lawyer is giving you sound advice. Because most people never bothered to learn the lingo, they end up in stupid situations where they don't understand what they're actually signing. From how to read a profit and loss statement to terms like operating cash flow, the difference between a trust fund and a hedge fund, between current liabilities versus non-current liabilities, between bonds and stocks, and so on. If you want to make money, you better start speaking the language. Number 13. They have the family crest embroidered or embossed on their things. This is one of the more subtle things that almost everybody else will miss, but it's pretty common with the rich, especially those who come from old money or royal families. The entry-level status symbol is the monogrammed shirt and slowly moves up to having custom-tailored bespoke pieces. You'll see Prince Charles sporting the signet ring. The emirs of Saudi Arabia have the crest on garments, usually in subtle places. You'll find their initials even on their bed sheets and their pillows. These subtle reminders are key that they need to behave in a certain way. Number 14. They speak a language that's not in their family background. While most of the bilingual part of the population is bilingual because they have to be, usually they learn the heritage language and English for daily use in this international climate. The rich usually go beyond that. It's pretty common to learn distinct languages that might serve as negotiating tools in the future. You'd be surprised how many kids are picking up Chinese or Arabic as their third language these days. The parents see it as an investment in their child's future. 40 years ago, it was German or Russian. Trends do change with the markets. The most valuable languages to learn right now are English, Chinese, and Spanish. While some people are suggesting Hindi is the fourth option, India has been quick to embrace English as their business language, so you should be fine. But depending on which industry you're developing, you might be interested in learning both the language of your supplier and that of your customer. Number 15. They work not because they have to, but because they have nothing else to do. Maybe we should rephrase that. Basically, they're doing it for the experience they're getting. Rich people have no problems with unpaid internships as long as they're within the right company because money is not an issue. Parents encourage them to build connections, and because of their family name, they're not treated like trash. That said, they're not taken seriously either. It's usually a bunch of fluff work and supporting the people who are actually doing what needs to be done. This is why most of them are frustrated and have a massive urge to prove themselves. But life isn't a Gossip Girl episode, and it usually doesn't work out the way they expect it to. They start superficial businesses like clothing lines, jewelry lines, event planning, flower arrangements, and so on. However, despite their connections, these businesses usually fail pretty quickly because they lack the drive and the hunger to keep pushing day in and day out. Instead, what they end up doing is following in their parents' footsteps, joining part of the company under the tutelage of that parent, being groomed to take over the business when the time comes. And Aluxers, that's a wrap on our list. We're super curious to know if you had any encounters with people that turned out to be super rich. So here's today's question. What's one time you found out someone was really rich and it surprised you? Let us know how it happened in the comments, and we'll be sure to throw some hearts around to the people with the best stories. And since you've been with us for a while now, you know what's next. Bonus. They lack generic skills because they've never had to deal with them. To some degree, they're completely disconnected from the real world. They have no idea how to fill out an application form. They have zero skills at fixing things around the house. They can barely drive. They have no idea how much cleaning products cost or how to cook. It's not like they ever had to do these things themselves, but it certainly helps to be self-sufficient. With the way technology is going, this bonus part of the video is bleeding into the masses. Most people live on Uber Eats, Glovo, and similar services. You move around with Uber, GoJerk, or Grab. Cleaning and servicing are also outsourced. In order to keep this video valuable for loyal Aluxers always watching until the end, we're giving you a golden nugget that for some of you could be the recipe for success. Here it goes. The quickest way to get rich is taking a luxury that is reserved for the rich and making it available to the masses. Pause this video and think about it. Back in the day, only rich people had chauffeurs. Now everybody can Uber. That's why Uber is worth $70 billion. Back in the day, only rich people had a beach house. Now you can Airbnb one for $100 a night. That's why Airbnb is worth $40 billion. Back in the day, only rich people could afford the latest fashion designs. Now you can go into any Zara and buy runway lookalikes for under $50. That's why Amancio Ortega is worth $80 billion. The rich are an incredible source of inspiration for anyone looking to build long-term wealth through business. Time is a luxury. Any business that can save the average person time is seen as a luxury business that can be translated into a product or a service. If you've made it to this part of the video, please write "time is a luxury" in the comments. It really means a lot to us to see you, the true Aluxers, coming back week after week, and hopefully this bonus part delivered some value on top of everything else we mentioned in the video. Aluxers, let's all get wealthy. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website, Alux.com. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.